Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and I hope you're doing good. And today we have a new problem with us and I'll just quickly share it on the screen and hope you take the screenshot and let's get straight into it. Alright, so the question says that we have to find the percentage basically, and it is something that we will use dictionary. So some code, as you can see, has already been given to you. What you have to do is add in a few extra lines of code and then it will be completed. But what we do here is not just code everything but explain it step by step, what the code will do and how it will find out the output for us. Okay, so first step one will be to take a variable which will take the input in integers. Okay, int input. All right, then the next step would be, which is n would be the number of students. Okay, the next step will be to create the dictionary. So how we will do that? Student underscore marks, and dictionary is created by the curly braces. All right, this is a dictionary, it's an empty dictionary. Okay, now we'll fill values in this. Third step will be to loop through the students. Okay, because we need individual records for each student. For example, let's take 3 students, so I'll have to enter separate marks of each student, if you understand me. I'll just write the code right now. For underscore in range, and which is n, and this will run the loop. The next step would be to take the input from the user and then split the scores and the name. Okay, for each name we will have a line of scores. So how we will write it is name comma, we will use the asterisk line, and equal to input and dot split. Alright, I'll explain what this does. So this asterisk line command is going to unpack all the variables which we have, because we are storing more than one variable for the scores, basically the marks of the students. Let's say we are taking 30, 40, 50. So what it will do is put all the scores in one single line, so we don't have to differentiate the each score. Like if we didn't put line here, we'd have to add separate variables like s1, s2 and s3. Okay, so this is what this does. It is called an extended unpacking, which is addressing multiple variables in one line. Okay, and you know what input split does? It will split all the inputs that you have given into the dictionary. All right, okay, so the next step would be to convert the marks to float. How we will do that? We're going to take scores, which is equal to list and map and then float comma line. Okay, so I'll explain this code. What it does is the map function will convert the scores to float. So basically, if you have let's say 35 point something, okay, it will convert, let's say it is 35 only, it is like a whole number, so it will convert it to float. It will write it as 35.0. all right, conversion to float is necessary because sometimes students can have decimal marks, for example 72.5 or something like that. If we didn't have decimal marks, if we had whole numbers, then we didn't need the float map function to convert these scores. Okay, so what the line means that the line of scores that we will going to convert to float. Okay, that's what the map function will do. It will do the conversion, and the list function will add new variables, add new values to the list, the converted values. Okay, all right. So the next thing would be to next step would be to store these values or scores in the list, dictionary. So student underscore marks, and then name. Under each name we have to store these scores. Okay, so separate scores for each name, whatever we put. All right. Okay, so the next step will be to query. All right, take the query. How we will do that? We will take the query and underscore name equal to input. So the input here will be the name. Let's say we take Rahul. All right, so the percentage that we have to find is we have to find the average of the scores. How many scores we add for that? Let's say we add 3 scores. We have to find the average of 3 scores for the particular person. So the query will run this command for this the name that we have given as input. Okay, all right. So the next step would be to write the marks basically for the query. Okay, basically we have to get the marks of the student. Now we have to type in the marks. All right, no, it will basically take the marks out for whichever input we have given, which is the query name. Okay, and the next step would be to calculate the average. Average will be equal to the sum of the marks. All right, and which will be divided by the length of the marks. All right, so what this means is, let's say there are 4 subject scores. Okay, so instead of writing divide by 4, divide by 5 every time, we have to not it will be hectic to update it every time for number of scores. So what length of marks does is it checks the length of the dictionary, how long it is, and then just calculates the average based on that. All right. Okay, so the final function will be to print the average. So we'll do it as f and then avg point and then point to f, point to f, and then yeah, that's it. So I'll explain this line of code as well. What this does is, the f stands for this outside f here. It stands for the if you want to format something within the print function, whatever the value that we have to format, we have to write f. Okay, the avg is a variable which is for average. The colon will start the formatting. Okay, the colon here. All right, and the 0.2 is the decimal places up to which we want the value for. Let's just say there are values for up to 4 decimal, but we have to convert it to 2. Let's say there is 35.172, we will convert it to 35.17. all right. Okay, the f here stands for the float, so it will convert it to the decimal. All right. Okay, so let's see what will happen when I run this command. Okay, so we haven't given we can input something, but for making it better, I will just write some things here. Here I'll write enter number of students. Alright, and then another input here will be to enter name of student. Alright, and where else will we need? Okay, here will be enter name and score of student. Okay, so now let's run this. Yeah, see here we have enter number of students. Let's say there are 3 students, name and score of student. Let's say I write Rahul, and score would be 50, 56 and 70. um, Enter name of student. Okay, so uh, this function ran only one time, because what happened is we initialized this average, this query name inside. Alright, you have to first take the you have to run it separately. Alright, yeah, this is separate, and now when we run it, I think it will be fixed. We have to keep in mind that this entire section will be separate and it shouldn't be included in the for loop, otherwise it will run this as well. We have to run it after we have given all the student details. Let's check it now. Second, yeah, enter number of students. Let's say 3, right? Rahul 60, 50 and 70. Kishore and 60, 45.3 and PT. Let's say Hrishi and 57.2 and 54.5 and 89. Correct. Now the query will be to enter the name of the student, for which we have to find the average score. Let's say I write Kishore 61.77. You can calculate this value. It will be exactly the average of the 3 scores given for the from Kishore. Okay, so you can run this command by your own, make changes of your own. You can add some things. See, however much you play with the code yourself, you will get to realize what each separate function does. Here we just changed the indented for this entire block, and then we realized that the loop was continuing after this query name was satisfied, and the thing is it would run for each student. Okay, but we do not want that. We want the query to run for one student in particular from all the 3 records. We don't want him to run every time for each student. Alright, I hope you understand how this question was done, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.